You reach for that bottle of olive oil, trusting the golden liquid inside to nourish your body and elevate your meals. Extra virgin, cold pressed, imported from Italy. The labels promise purity and health benefits that have made olive oil a kitchen staple for generations. But what if I told you that some of those trusted bottles are hiding dangerous secrets? Adulterated oils, toxic chemicals, and misleading labels that can damage your heart, spike your blood pressure, and even increase your cancer risk. Today, we're exposing 7 olive oil brands that could be sabotaging your health and revealing the 2 that actually deliver on their promises. The truth about what's really in your bottle might shock you, but it could also save your life. Let's start with a brand that proves how quickly trust can shatter when quality control fails. At number 7, we have Bertolli, the name that's been synonymous with Italian olive oil for over 150 years. Walk down any grocery aisle and you'll see those familiar bottles promising authentic Mediterranean flavor. The packaging whispers of sun-drenched groves and traditional pressing methods. But behind that carefully crafted image lurk problems that put your health at serious risk. Picture this. You drizzle what you believe is pure extra virgin olive oil over your salad, confident you're making a healthy choice. The liquid flows smoothly, tastes mild, and costs less than premium brands. What you don't realize is that bottle might contain a cocktail of refined oils, synthetic additives, and chemical residues that have nothing to do with olives. Independent laboratory testing has repeatedly caught Bertolli products failing purity standards. Consumer advocacy groups found samples diluted with cheaper oils like sunflower, soybean, and canola. That's not just misleading marketing, it's fraud disguised as food. When you're paying for extra virgin olive oil but getting a blend of industrial seed oils, your body pays the price through inflammation, oxidative stress, and compromised heart health. The deception runs deeper than simple dilution. Some Bertolli products tested positive for chemical markers, indicating heat treatment and refining processes that strip away the very compounds that make real olive oil beneficial. Polyphenols, those powerful antioxidants that fight inflammation and protect your cardiovascular system, disappear during industrial processing. What remains is a pale shadow of genuine olive oil with none of the health benefits you're seeking. Storage and transportation add another layer of risk. Mass market brands like Bertolli often sit in warehouses and shipping containers for months, sometimes in extreme temperatures that accelerate rancidity. Rancid oil doesn't just taste bad. It creates harmful compounds called aldehydes that damage cellular membranes and contribute to chronic disease. The mild flavor you mistake for quality might actually be the taste of degraded oil that's lost its nutritional value. For older adults managing cholesterol, blood pressure, or inflammatory conditions, these counterfeit oils become particularly dangerous. Your doctor recommends olive oil for its proven cardiovascular benefits, but adulterated products deliver the opposite effect. Instead of reducing inflammation, they promote it. Instead of supporting heart health, they undermine it. The labeling tricks make detection nearly impossible for average consumers. Terms like cold-pressed and extra virgin appear on bottles that contain refined oils. Country of origin claims stretch the truth by importing bulk oil from multiple countries, blending it in Italy and slapping on Italian labels. The romantic imagery of family farms and traditional methods masks industrial production that prioritizes profit over purity. Have you ever wondered why some olive oils taste so different from others, even when they carry similar labels? The answer often lies in what's not on the ingredient list. Legitimate extra virgin olive oil should taste robust, sometimes peppery, with distinct flavor notes that reflect the olive variety and growing conditions. If your oil tastes neutral or bland, that's your first warning sign. Moving on to number 6, we encounter Filippo Berio, another Italian-sounding brand that trades on Mediterranean credibility while delivering questionable quality. The bottles promise extra virgin excellence, but laboratory analysis tells a different story. Multiple consumer testing organizations have flagged Filippo Berio products for failing basic authenticity standards. The core issue isn't just dilution with cheaper oils. It's the presence of chemical markers that indicate processing methods incompatible with true extra virgin classification. Real extra virgin olive oil comes from mechanical pressing at temperatures below 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Any heat treatment or chemical extraction disqualifies the product from carrying that designation. Filippo Berio products have tested positive for compounds like pyrophosphate and alkyl esters, chemical fingerprints that reveal industrial processing. These markers indicate the oil has been deodorized, refined, or mixed with lower-grade oils to mask defects. The smooth, mild taste consumers often prefer actually signals damaged oil that's been chemically manipulated to hide rancidity and off flavors. The health implications compound over time. When you consume these adulterated oils regularly, thinking you're following a heart-healthy Mediterranean diet, you're actually introducing pro-inflammatory compounds into your system. The fake olive oils lack the protective polyphenols found in authentic products, while carrying oxidized fats that stress your cardiovascular system. Price becomes a deceptive factor with brands like Filippo Berio. The moderate cost feels reasonable compared to premium imports, creating the illusion of value. But you're not getting a bargain on quality olive oil. You're paying mid-tier prices for industrial seed oil blends dressed up with olive oil marketing. The packaging amplifies the deception through carefully chosen imagery and language. Italian flags, rustic fonts, and references to traditional methods create emotional connections that override rational analysis. Consumers assume products bearing Italian names come from Italian olives processed in Italian facilities. The reality often involves bulk oils sourced globally, processed in industrial facilities, and bottled wherever costs are lowest. Storage conditions in retail environments further compromise already questionable products. Olive oil degrades rapidly when exposed to light, heat, and oxygen. Supermarket shelves with bright fluorescent lighting accelerate this process, turning marginal products into health hazards. The clear glass bottles that look attractive in displays allow light to penetrate and destroy remaining beneficial compounds. Coming in at number 5, Colavita presents itself as a premium Italian brand with deep roots in olive cultivation. The marketing emphasizes family traditions and authentic processing methods. The higher price point suggests superior quality, but independent testing reveals a brand that consistently fails to meet the standards its marketing promises. Laboratory analysis of Colavita extra virgin olive oil found chemical profiles indicating significant adulteration with refined oils. The presence of specific fatty acid ratios and sterile compounds pointed to dilution with non-olive oils. This isn't accidental contamination or minor quality variation. It's systematic fraud that violates both FDA regulations and international olive oil standards. The deception becomes particularly egregious given Colavita's premium positioning. Consumers pay extra believing they're getting authentic Italian craftsmanship. Instead, they receive industrial blends that cost pennies to produce but sell for dollars. The profit margins on these fake premium oils dwarf those of legitimate products, creating powerful incentives for continued deception. Sensory evaluation reveals additional red flags. Authentic extra virgin olive oil should display distinct flavor characteristics reflecting the olive variety, harvest timing, and processing methods. Colavita products consistently test as bland, neutral oils lacking the complexity and intensity of genuine extra virgin products. The absence of peppery notes, fruity aromatics, and bitter compounds signals oil that's either heavily refined or diluted beyond recognition. The health consequences multiply when you consider how these products are typically used. Many consumers choose olive oil specifically for its anti-inflammatory properties and cardiovascular benefits. They drizzle it on salads, use it for cooking, and incorporate it into daily routines believing they're supporting their health. When that oil turns out to be an adulterated blend of refined seed oils, the expected benefits disappear while potential harms increase. Temperature abuse during shipping and storage compounds the quality problems. Olive oil begins degrading immediately after production, with heat, light, and oxygen accelerating the process. Mass-market brands like Colavita often sit in distribution networks for months, moving through warehouses and transport systems that expose them to temperature extremes. By the time the product reaches your kitchen, oxidation has already compromised whatever authentic olive oil might have been present. The regulatory environment enables this deception through weak enforcement and minimal testing. Unlike prescription drugs or medical devices, olive oil faces limited oversight once it reaches market shelves. Brands can make authenticity claims with little fear of systematic verification. Consumer advocacy groups and independent laboratories occasionally expose problems, but systematic fraud continues largely unchecked. Before we reveal the remaining brands to avoid and the two that actually deserve your trust, take a moment to think about the olive oil currently sitting in your pantry. Does it taste robust and complex or neutral and bland? Did you choose it based on price, packaging, or actual quality indicators? The answers might surprise you, and they definitely matter more than you realize. The questions you just asked yourself point to a larger problem that extends far beyond individual brand failures. The olive oil industry operates in a regulatory gray zone where authentic products and sophisticated counterfeits sit side by side on the same shelves. The lack of mandatory testing creates an environment where deception thrives, and consumers become unwitting victims of a system that prioritizes profit over purity. At number 4, we encounter Pompeian, a brand that's built its reputation on accessibility and consistent availability across American supermarkets. The familiar bottles promise extra virgin quality at budget-friendly prices, making it a go-to choice for families trying to eat healthier without breaking the bank. But that affordability comes with hidden costs that your body pays long after you've finished the bottle. The fundamental problem with Pompeian lies in its supply chain approach. To maintain low prices and high volume distribution, the company sources oil from multiple countries and processing facilities. This creates a quality control nightmare where standards vary wildly between suppliers. One batch might contain legitimate olive oil, while the next carries refined seed oils masquerading as extra virgin. Independent laboratory testing has consistently flagged Pompeian products for failing basic authenticity markers. Chemical analysis reveals the presence of refined oil indicators, including specific fatty acid profiles that don't occur naturally in properly processed olive oil. The detection of these compounds isn't a matter of interpretation or minor variation. It's concrete evidence of industrial manipulation that disqualifies the product from carrying extra virgin designation. The taste profile tells the same story. Authentic extra virgin olive oil should deliver distinct sensory experiences that reflect the olive variety, growing conditions, and processing methods. Pompeian products consistently test as neutral, bland oils lacking the complexity and intensity that define genuine extra virgin products. That smooth, inoffensive flavor consumers often prefer actually signals oil that's been stripped of its natural characteristics through refining processes. Storage and packaging amplify these quality issues. Pompeian uses clear glass bottles that allow light penetration, accelerating oxidation and destroying beneficial compounds. The products often sit on retail shelves for extended periods under harsh fluorescent lighting that further degrades whatever authentic components might remain. By the time you open the bottle, you're consuming oil that's already compromised from multiple sources. The health implications become particularly concerning for older adults who turn to olive oil specifically for cardiovascular benefits. Medical research consistently shows that authentic extra virgin olive oil reduces inflammation, supports heart health, and provides protective antioxidants. When that oil turns out to be refined seed oil blends, those benefits disappear while potential harms increase. The oxidized fats and degraded oils actually promote inflammation rather than reducing it. Price psychology plays a crucial role in Pompeian's market success. The moderate cost creates the illusion of value, suggesting you're getting quality olive oil without premium pricing. But economic reality dictates that authentic extra virgin olive oil requires significant production costs for growing, harvesting, pressing, and proper storage. When prices drop below certain thresholds, quality must be compromised somewhere in the process. Moving to number 3, Star brings us face to face with perhaps the most brazen example of olive oil fraud in mainstream retail. The brand markets itself as fine Italian olive oil, complete with imagery suggesting traditional Mediterranean production methods. The reality reveals a company that's been repeatedly cited for adulteration, mislabeling, and quality violations that put consumer health at direct risk. The deception starts with basic ingredient integrity. Laboratory analysis of Star extra virgin olive oil consistently reveals chemical markers indicating significant dilution with cheaper refined oils. Specific tests for sterile composition, fatty acid profiles, and oxidation indicators show products that bear little resemblance to authentic olive oil. The presence of these adulterants isn't accidental contamination or minor processing variations. It represents systematic fraud designed to maximize profits while deceiving consumers. Temperature abuse during production adds another layer of concern. True extra virgin olive oil requires mechanical extraction at temperatures below 80 degrees Fahrenheit to preserve beneficial compounds and maintain quality standards. Star products show clear evidence of heat treatment and chemical processing that destroys the very characteristics that define extra virgin classification. The result is refined oil that's been deodorized and flavored to mask defects and acidity. The sensory evaluation reveals oils that consistently fail professional taste panels. Authentic extra virgin olive oil should display distinct flavor notes, ranging from fruity and grassy to peppery and bitter, depending on the olive variety and processing methods. Star products test as flat, neutral oils lacking any of these characteristic flavors. The absence of these sensory markers indicates oil that's either heavily refined or diluted beyond recognition. Packaging choices compound the quality problems through materials and design that accelerate degradation. Clear bottles allow light penetration that destroys beneficial polyphenols and promotes oxidation. The products often carry production dates that suggest extended storage periods before reaching consumers. Combined with typical retail storage conditions, this creates a situation where oil quality deteriorates significantly before purchase. The regulatory violations tell a disturbing story of systematic deception. Star has faced enforcement actions from both FDA and international regulatory bodies for mislabeling, adulteration, and quality violations. These aren't isolated incidents or minor technical infractions. They represent a pattern of conduct that prioritizes cost reduction over consumer safety and product integrity. Supply chain opacity makes verification impossible for consumers trying to make informed choices. Star sources oil from multiple countries and processing facilities, blending and repackaging to obscure the true origin and quality of individual components. This approach allows the company to maintain low costs while making authenticity claims that independent testing consistently disproves. The health consequences extend beyond simple disappointment over taste or quality. When consumers specifically choose olive oil for its proven cardiovascular benefits, anti-inflammatory properties, and antioxidant content, adulterated products deliver the opposite effects. Instead of supporting heart health, refined seed oil blends promote inflammation and oxidative stress. Instead of providing protective compounds, they introduce harmful substances that contribute to chronic disease. At number 2, we encounter California Olive Ranch, a brand that might surprise you with its inclusion on this list. The name suggests domestic production and quality control that should exceed imported alternatives. The marketing emphasizes California growing conditions and American food safety standards. The reality reveals a company whose practices often fall short of its premium positioning and health-focused marketing claims. The core issue stems from sourcing and blending practices that compromise product integrity while maintaining profitable operations. California Olive Ranch sources oil from multiple suppliers and regions, creating quality control challenges that affect final product consistency. Independent testing has found significant batch-to-batch variation in chemical composition, indicating inconsistent processing standards or ingredient sourcing. Chemical analysis reveals specific markers suggesting heat treatment and refining processes that disqualify products from true extra virgin classification. The presence of refined oil indicators, including specific sterile ratios and oxidation compounds, points to processing methods incompatible with authentic extra virgin standards. These findings contradict marketing claims about cold pressing and minimal processing. The taste profile confirms laboratory findings through sensory evaluation that consistently rates California Olive Ranch products as bland, neutral oils lacking the complexity and intensity of genuine extra virgin products. Professional taste panels report absence of characteristic olive oil flavors, including fruity, grassy, peppery, and bitter notes that define authentic products. This sensory deficiency indicates oil that's been stripped of natural characteristics through industrial processing. Temperature control issues during production and storage create additional quality concerns. Despite marketing emphasis on careful handling and quality preservation, products often show signs of oxidative damage and rancidity that suggest inadequate temperature control during processing or storage. The development of off flavors and harmful compounds undermines any potential health benefits while introducing substances that promote inflammation and cellular damage. The distribution network adds another layer of complexity that affects product quality in ways consumers never see. California olive ranch products travel through warehouses and retail chains that often lack proper temperature control and storage protocols. Extended shelf life claims sound appealing until you realize they're achieved through processing methods that strip away the very compounds that make olive oil beneficial for health. Price positioning creates false confidence among consumers who assume domestic production equals superior quality and safety standards. The moderate premium over imported brands suggests better value and authenticity. But laboratory testing reveals products that often underperform compared to legitimate imported alternatives, making the higher price a penalty rather than an investment in quality. Finally, at number 1, the most dangerous olive oil brand, currently on shelves, Carapelli. This Italian brand represents everything wrong with the modern olive oil industry, wrapped in packaging designed to exploit consumer trust and heritage associations. The name carries weight among shoppers seeking authentic Mediterranean products, but the contents deliver risks that extend far beyond simple quality disappointment. The adulteration reaches levels that border on criminal fraud. Independent laboratory analysis consistently finds Carapelli products containing substantial amounts of refined seed oils, including sunflower, soybean, and canola oil. These adulterants don't just dilute the olive oil content. They introduce completely different chemical profiles that can trigger inflammatory responses and allergic reactions in sensitive individuals. Chemical residue testing reveals the presence of industrial solvents and processing chemicals that have no place in food products. Hexane residues from seed oil extraction processes appear in samples along with bleaching agents and deodorizing chemicals used to mask rancidity and off flavors. These compounds accumulate in body tissues over time, creating long-term health risks that far exceed the immediate concerns of poor taste or nutrition. The oxidation levels in Carapelli products consistently exceed safe limits established by international food safety organizations. Rancid oil doesn't just taste unpleasant. It generates toxic compounds called aldehydes that damage cellular membranes and contribute to cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and accelerated aging. Regular consumption of highly oxidized oils essentially floods your system with pro-inflammatory compounds that undermine every aspect of health. Temperature abuse during production creates additional hazards through the formation of harmful compounds that don't exist in properly processed oils. When olive oil is heated beyond safe limits during extraction or refining, it generates substances including acrolein and other toxic aldehydes that become concentrated in the final product. These compounds cause immediate digestive irritation and long-term cellular damage that accumulates with repeated exposure. The regulatory violations paint a picture of systematic disregard for consumer safety and product integrity. Carapelli has faced enforcement actions across multiple countries for mislabeling, adulteration, and safety violations. The pattern of violations suggests a business model built on deception rather than occasional quality lapses or regulatory misunderstandings. Storage conditions in retail environments compound the inherent quality problems through exposure to light, heat, and oxygen that accelerate degradation. Carapelli products often display clear signs of advanced oxidation, including off odors, unusual colors, and separation that indicate the oil has become harmful rather than simply poor quality. These visual and sensory warning signs should never be ignored. But after exposing these dangerous brands, I promise to show you the 2 olive oils that actually deliver on their promises and deserve a place in your kitchen. The first safe option is Cobram Estate. This Australian producer represents everything the olive oil industry should be but rarely achieves. Their commitment to transparency, quality control, and authentic production methods creates products that consistently meet the highest international standards for extra virgin classification. The key difference lies in their integrated production approach that controls every step from grove to bottle. Cobram Estate grows their own olives, operates their own mills, and maintains strict temperature control throughout processing. This vertical integration eliminates the supply chain vulnerabilities that plague mass market brands while ensuring consistent quality and authenticity. Laboratory testing consistently confirms Cobram estate products meet all chemical and sensory requirements for genuine extra virgin olive oil. The polyphenol levels remain high, indicating proper processing and storage conditions. The fatty acid profiles match those of authentic olive oil without markers suggesting dilution or adulteration. Most importantly, the products consistently pass professional taste panels with flying colors. The second safe choice is Kirkland's Signature Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil from Costco. This might surprise you given the warehouse store setting, but independent testing consistently shows this product exceeds many premium brands in both purity and quality. The organic certification provides additional oversight, while the bulk purchasing power ensures reasonable pricing without compromising standards. Your health depends on the choices you make every time you reach for that bottle. The 7 brands we've exposed today aren't just disappointing products. They're health hazards disguised as healthy food. But now you know the truth. You have the knowledge to protect yourself and your family from adulterated oils that promote inflammation instead of fighting it. Don't let deceptive marketing and false claims put your cardiovascular health at risk. Choose authentic olive oil from trusted producers who prioritize purity over profit. Your heart, your brain, and your entire body will thank you for making the switch. Subscribe now so you never miss the truth about what's really hiding in your kitchen.